it's important to know that what defines the U.S. college admission process is choice. And it's unique to the United States because of the fact that there are over 4,000 colleges and universities within the United States. Within the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, there's over 260 alone. That is a huge number. So you as students really have a plethora of opportunities ahead of you and a lot of different decisions to make as you move forward. That amount of choice can certainly be overwhelming. You have to think about what kind of institution you'd like to be at. Would you like to go to a small school, a large school? What type of location, urban or rural? Would you like to go to a state institution, or would you like to go to a private institution? Would you like to go to an institution that is gender specific or secular, or perhaps focused in on a religious denomination? There's a lot to choose from. And with that amount of choice comes a lot of good things, but can also come with some negatives as well. A lot of misinformation that might be out there. And as my colleague also says, that choice brings with it a whole lot of crazy. And with that sheer number of post-secondary opportunities, it also necessitates for you, the student, to really navigate these choices, navigate the information, and navigate, yes, the crazy, by focusing on fit and not just name or ranking. I'll say that again. It's important for you to focus on fit and not just name or ranking. I did a Google search, an Amazon search just the other day to looking about how many books actually had the context or the information about college admission. There was close to 15,000 different books out there on the topic of college admission. And actually, it'd be interesting for you to know that the average acceptance rate within U.S. institutions is not 20%, it's not 10%, it's not 40%, it's not even 50%. Actually, the average acceptance rate in institutions within the United States is 63.9%. This statistic actually comes from the National Association of College Admission Counseling, or NACAC. It's a great website to go to NACAC.org, NACACnet.org, to really find out about kind of this admission process. With choice defining the process, I think it's really important for you to also come at this with preparation. Because of all the questions that can be asked, I think the most important questions to begin this process are by asking the questions of yourself and really looking inward as opposed to kind of looking outward initially. Find your voice in this decision as well. There's going to be a lot of people here to help you, but certainly it is going to be your process, and your voice is most important. Start thinking and looking at what is important to you, what you may want to do, and where your interests lie. And there is such a thing as looking too early, but at the same time, I think it is important to begin this process sooner rather than later. And part of that is because, again, of the choice, there is a lot of exploration that needs to take place. There's a lot of questions. Again, questions asking of yourself, but also others. Take advantage of meeting with people in the profession. Take advantage of college fairs. Take advantage of talking to admission counselors, because while part of our job is to talk about our respective institutions, it's also to help you navigate this process, regardless of where you ultimately end up. And certainly do your research. Don't just rely on websites or what your friends say. And family dynamics. Do this as a family. This is an opportunity as you look ahead to really come together and talk as a family and really be open and honest. And certainly utilize your school counselors and utilize, again, your families as you look to make this process. Lastly, what I want to leave you with is just as far as what defines the U.S. college admission process, what drives the U.S. college admission process. And that is a holistic approach to college admission. When we talk about holistic admission, what that means is as we look at your application, we're looking at a whole lot of things. We're not only focusing in on academics, we're looking at the big picture. I've always said that my job as an admission counselor is to ensure that the students that ultimately enroll at my university are going to be able to perform successfully academically, but also create a very vibrant citizenry on campus. So how do we do that? We certainly look at academics. We certainly take a look at your transcripts. And as we're looking at your transcripts, we're not just focusing in on the grades. We're kind of taking a look at, again, the big picture. We're taking a look to see what curriculum you had the opportunity to take, what classes you chose to take within that curriculum, and how you did within those classes. It gives us more of a sustained representation of how you are academically. We also take a look at tests, but not all of us take a look at tests. There is a great website out there called fairtest.org that lists over 800 institutions in the United States that do not require standardized testing in our admission process. But for those of us that do, it's meant to not be the be-all and end-all of our application. It's really meant to supplement those other academic indicators that we're using to look to see how you might fare at our institutions. Non-academically, we're looking at essays. We're looking at what you've been able to do outside of the classroom to find your passions, your true interests. So what you can bring to the university in addition to being able to succeed in the classroom or in the lab. And lastly, what I'll say is that throughout this whole process, it's important to keep a positive perspective. Wherever you ultimately go, and whatever opportunities ultimately present themselves to you, you will be okay. As long as you go about the process again as a family and asking the right questions and taking the time to prepare so that you are again making that choice based on fit and not just name and ranking.